So much work. 20 points a game! 10 rebounds! Oh my god. So many numbers. So many numbers.
Ortman, you got the all-area girls basketball team done yet?
Light! Shut the light off!
You got the all-area the basketball teams done yet?
Yeah, it's done. God, it's done. It's done.
It's done? Good. It's running Sunday.
God, I feel like I've been down here forever. What's it been, like 2 weeks?
I think it's only been one shift, Steve. You've only been down here for one shift.
Wow. I've just been working so hard on this. Man. All right, so I can come out now?
You can come out now.
Do you think the Tri-States really appreciates all the hard work that I'm putting into this girls basketball all-area team?
I certainly hope so.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Telegraph Herald More Than the Score, presented by Dubuque Auto Plaza. I am your host, Steve Ortman. Alongside me again this week, what an honor, Telegraph Herald sports editor, Jim Leitner. Jim, how's it going?
Very good, and I have to say that you look much better than the last time I saw you. You were kind of stressing out a little bit. All-area girls basketball team was announced this weekend. I know that's always a stressful project. I know it's always there are a lot of tough decisions, or there's a lot of there's a lot of going back and forth on selections. Tell me who made the cut, and how'd you come about those selections?
Yes, certainly a big task, as you said. I've seen a lot of girls basketball this season. It's always an exciting time to release our all-area girls basketball team, and I've seen a lot of games throughout the season, so you have the visual aid of being at the games, watching the players. Then you look at all-state recognition, all-conference awards, stats, a lot of numbers, a lot of accolades to kind of sift through. A lot of work, but you do the best you can. You gather up all that information, put together the teams the best of your abilities, and if I must say so myself, I feel I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's always kind of fun when you're done, you're completing the all-area team to kind of imagine what a team like that would look like on the court, because you always have such some teams feature a big girl in the middle. Some teams feature quick guards, in this team it seems like you have a nice balance of all those elements, and it would be kind of fun to see all those five players on the court at the same time, and and a coach like Mike Sconsa coaching them too. Tell me about the first team and the all-area selections that you have this year.
Yep, it starts with the awards, and at the top, the Telegraph Herald Player of the Year in girls basketball, Marissa Schrader, Bellevue Marquette. What a season she had for the Mohawks. It was her goal. All 4 years she wanted to get down to state. She'd never been there. This year she gets it done as the senior leader of this team. Numbers, starts with the numbers. Of course, she's got them. 21.5 points per game, 9.7 rebounds, 3.4 steals, 2.3 assists, 1.1 blocks. She's got the numbers. Like I said, Jim, they're there. And led this team to a 21-4 overall record, down to the Class 1A state tournament for the first time since 2013. And Marissa really wanted to get down to the state tournament so bad. And boy, did she leave an impression, Jim, when she got down there. A Class 1A state tournament record, 38 points in the Mohawks quarterfinal loss to Kingsley Pearson. The previous 1A tournament record was 27 points, so she pretty much smashed this record. And 13 of 24 shooting, 12 of 14 from the free throw line. It just capped off a truly incredible season and career for Marissa Schrader at Marquette. We caught up with Marissa Schrader after she found out she won the award. Here's what she had to say about being named the Telegraph Herald Player of the Year.
I am extremely honored to be Player of the Year by TH because it's just been such an incredible season to go 24-4 and then be in the state tournament, and then this is just icing on the cake. This whole thing, when I got the call that told me that I was player of the year, I could not have been more excited or happy that I got this huge honor, and I couldn't have done it without everyone at home and my family and my teammates and all the support. It's just such a huge honor, and I'm really happy about it.
The accolades pretty much speak for themselves for Marissa, but I think one thing that really impresses me is that she did it on such a big stage. You know, you talk about the state basketball tournament, it's at Wells Fargo Arena, you know, it's a big arena. You know, high school players are not used to playing in an arena like that with the big backgrounds.
Right.
And obviously it's on a big stage. Those games are televised. And, you know, the whole state is really concentrating on those games. How impressive was it for you to see that in person, to watch the way she played in that game and scoring 38 points?
Yeah, and it's really interesting, even talking to the Kingsley Pearson coach after the game. She just admitted, we gave up the all-time scoring record. She's a fabulous player. We couldn't stop her. We could not stop her. They have, you know, an NCAA Division I recruit on that team that was guarding Marissa. Couldn't stop her. They tried switching up, putting smaller guards on her for speed. Couldn't stop her. It was truly it was an unbelievable performance of determination, will, wanting to win, and her teammates played well around her. Coach Jim Kettman said it best, you know, her teammates had great awareness. They realized that if they got Marissa the ball, she was going to score. So they filled their roles well, and it was a really great performance down the state stage.
Now, we talk about her as our player of the year. Talk about the first team, the girls who made the first team this year, and you know, what kind of statistics and accolades did they bring to the table this year?
Sure, always tough to put this together, but what I like to think is when I pick out these 5 players, I like to think to myself, boy, I'd find it hard these players as a team to not make it to state. So it starts with the guard play, and we're going to start in East Dubuque, a junior guard, Skylar Culbertson. Such a great season. She had so many accolades for the East Dubuque girls basketball team. She finished the season with 980 career points. She'll be a senior next year, so she's bound to top the 1,000 mark. She led the team in points, rebounds, steals, and assists, and she's one of the shorter guards in the area. So it's really amazing that I know Coach Jared Deutz said that she's one of the toughest, you know, kids that he's ever coached. So a great player in Skylar Culbertson. You also look at another guard, Sydney Staver, Mineral Point, a senior guard for Mineral Point. She's going to be playing basketball Division I at UW-Milwaukee. She averaged 17 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, 3.4 assists. You know, great guard play. And I think when you look at an all-area team, you got to have 2 guards at the top that can really handle the basketball.
And what's been interesting for me is those girls, it seemed like they've been around forever.
Yeah.
You know, I remember Skylar when she was a freshman, and, you know, she was turning heads, and I'm like, where did this girl come from? And I remember you telling, well, she's a freshman. And, you know, it's kind of unusual to see freshmen come in and make a big impact, but I know she did, and Staver, too. I know she's been a key player for Mineral Point. They've gone on a nice run the last couple years and went to state and won it last year. But to do that, you have to have good guard play, and it's nice to see that those 2 are on the all-area team.
Sure. Now, you're going down low. Also got some talented players down here. Forward, you start with junior from Benton, Emma Lawrence. This season, she became the program's all-time leading scorer just as a junior. Right now, she stands at 1,211 career points. She was a 6 Rivers West Conference Player of the Year, averaged 19 points and 11 rebounds per game. A player that was just phenomenal rebounding the basketball, and she used that to her ability in transition to be able to score on the other end. And then you look at another forward position, Katie Furlong. Jim, I know you've been watching her along with me. 4 seasons now she's been doing it with the Pirates. Led this team to back-to-back sectional appearances, sectional championships, and the super sectional, so close to making it to state. And you look at her numbers, she had them too. 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, 2.6 steals, 1.4 assists, and obviously she kind of turned the corner for this Galena program.
Well, you know, she's a player that, you know, has been at the center of everything that Galena has done the last couple of years. And, you know, I know that's a program that was a little bit down for a little while. And she was, a central figure in getting that team back to where they were. You know, it's kind of hard in Illinois to make it far in the state tournament, because you have to win a lot more games. It's a longer path. It seems like those games are a lot farther away too. I mean, there's a lot more travel involved in those games too. So, it says a lot about Katie that she was able to have the kind of year, not just the kind of year she had, but the kind of career she had to really put Galena basketball back on the map.
Yep, all-time leader in points and rebounding for the Pirates. Then finishing off the squad at center, senior from Dubuque Hempstead, Megan Gronow had a great season for the Mustangs. They doubled their win total from last season. She averaged 17 points, 9 rebounds per game, and she did it in the rugged Mississippi Valley Conference.
It's a tough league. It's probably one of the toughest leagues in the state, maybe the first or second toughest league in the state. And the few games that I got to see of her, it seemed like she just dominated the inside. And you talked about court awareness. The guards would get her the ball, and she'd do a quick little turnaround, and it was in the net. And so she was a big player for Hempstead, and really a key to them having the kind of season that they had this year.
Yep, she's a player that you could really see the leap from junior year to senior year. She added so much more to her game, added more moves down the post, and became more of a lethal weapon down there, being able to score the basketball. But that wraps up the team. But Jim, one more award. I had Coach of the Year, Mike Sconsa, Cascade. What a season for the Cougars. 23-3. They made it to the Class 2A state semifinals, their 4th appearance in the last 5 years, and they were literally a player or two away from making the 2A state championship game. And as you can imagine, it starts always with that 2-3 zone defense.
Well, the thing that I really liked about the Cascade girls this year was they really didn't have a lot of star power. They had a lot of really nice players. They didn't have a first-team All-Stater.
Now, careful. We have been terrorized.
I don't want to say they're not tough, because they're tough.
Yeah, they're real tough.
I saw what you went through, so I'm not ever going to criticize them for being not tough.
They're like super duper tough.
They are, and we saw them here in the studio, and I can attest they are very tough.
Yeah.
But again, they're not a team that had a lot of great star power. They weren't really a physically imposing team. They didn't have the big player in the middle or anything. But it's always kind of rewarding to see a guy do a coaching job like that, where you bring all those parts together and you have the kind of success that you have. So that's a really good choice of Coach of the Year for a guy who really did a lot with the group that he had.
Yep, and we caught up with Coach Sconsa, and here's what he had to say about the great season the Cascade girls had.
When I talked to the reporter on, I basically said, there's got to be a couple other people out there that are way more worthy than I'll ever be. Extremely humbled, very honored. It means a lot to me to be I just like that Cascade High School is getting recognition.
Anna Finzel to the office. Anna Finzel to the office.
And what like I said, in terms of being humbled, and this award is for our school and for our basketball program, but everything we did comes from the girls' effort, as I said before, and from our assistant Ernie Bolabus. So this is a collective award that I will not accept by myself, and it's all based off of their effort and Ernie.
Well, that was Cascade coach Mike Sconsa. Congratulations to the Cougars. All the girls in the tri-state area that made the all-area basketball team. Many fine seasons across the board. And right there, I think that's going to do it. Finally, I think we put the bow on girls basketball. But we got some good action coming up this weekend.
We do. Last weekend was girls basketball all-area and Coach of the Year. We're going to follow this week. This weekend we're going to have our all-area boys basketball team. So that's going to be that'll pretty much put a wrap on the entire winter sports season and the basketball season.
Yep. So we'll have Player of the Year coming up on Saturday, the full all-area teams in the Sunday edition. Then Monday you can look for Coach of the Year. How's Brendan doing on that?
Oh, I forgot about Brendan.
You mean Brendan's still down there?
He's still down there.
He's still down there?
He's still down there. I gotta go.
Jim Leitner, obviously, they work as hard on these all-area teams, but it's worth it. I'm sure you guys really enjoy it. Be sure to look for the boys basketball all-area team coming up this weekend. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Telegraph Herald. More in the Score, presented by Dubuque Auto Plaza. I am your host, Steve Ortman, and we will see you next week.